Napoleon Bonaparte, a truly divisive historical figure. Some historians credit him with pulling France out of the revolutionary chaos and triumphing over their adversaries. Others view him as someone who exploited political turmoil for his own gain. A ruthless, power-obsessed dictator whose rule resulted in countless deaths, both military and civilian. So, how did Napoleon actually come to power in the first place? Prior to the French Revolution, France's society was structured into three distinct groups: the clergy, the aristocracy, and the commoners, or the Third Estate. France's financial backing of the American Revolution had left the nation in dire economic straits. King Louis XVI imposed hefty taxes on the peasantry, who were struggling with severe hunger and bread scarcity. Meanwhile, the intellectual movement known as the Enlightenment began to challenge established government structures and the divine right of kings. The Enlightenment championed logic and scientific inquiry, ideas that quickly resonated with the nobility and affluent business owners. In 1789, King Louis XVI convened representatives from these societal strata for a meeting of the Estates General. When the Third Estate couldn't reach an agreement, they departed and established their own National Assembly. The king's opposition to this move sparked widespread unrest across Paris. On July 14, 1789, revolutionaries stormed the Bastille, liberating a handful of inmates and confiscating arms and gunpowder. The National Assembly then dismantled feudalism and drafted a new constitution, marking the beginning of the revolution. The initial desire of most was for a constitutional monarchy. However, the revolution's trajectory took a sinister turn. It devolved into immense bloodshed amidst both internal conflicts and external wars. An extremist faction called the Jacobins seized control, leading to the execution of approximately 16,000 individuals, including the king himself. Other European monarchies grew apprehensive about the revolution's spread and attempted to suppress it, forming multiple alliances to do so. These alliances proved unsuccessful, and France subsequently established several satellite states in regions like Italy, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. And that's precisely where your main man, Napoleon, enters the picture. After his military schooling, Napoleon was appointed commander of an army at the young age of 26. I'm 26 years old. Following campaigns against Austria and Italy, along with a less than successful expedition in Egypt, Napoleon returned to France. By then, a new governing body called the Directory had fallen out of favor with the public. In 1799, Napoleon orchestrated a coup, ousting the Directory and assuming the position of First Consul of the Republic. Napoleon swiftly sold the French territory of Louisiana to the United States, aiming to prevent its seizure by Great Britain. Later that same year, Napoleon dispatched troops to quell uprisings in Haiti, but this effort failed, leading Napoleon to abandon his aspirations for an empire in the West. In 1803, Britain issued an ultimatum to France, demanding their withdrawal from the Netherlands and Switzerland. Napoleon attempted diplomatic solutions with Britain, but no resolution was reached, thus igniting the Napoleonic Wars. The British Royal Navy imposed a blockade on France as Britain maintained naval dominance. Napoleon declared himself emperor and soon after proclaimed himself king of Italy. However, a third coalition was subsequently formed, comprising Britain, Austria, Sweden, and Russia, with the objective of driving France out of the Netherlands and Switzerland. In 1805, French and Spanish naval forces joined in an attempt to counter the British. Of Austria and Russia could arrive. The ensuing battle took place at Austerlitz. The army marched through the Holy Roman Empire, beating Austria. He took Vienna just before Austria and Russia's armies joined up. The two sides went head-to-head at the Battle of Austerlitz. A staggering 25,000 Austrian and Russian soldiers perished, while Napoleon's losses numbered only 7,000. Napoleon subsequently conquered the Holy Roman Empire and restructure the region into the Confederation of the Rhine, establishing a network of allied duchies and kingdoms under French influence. Napoleon withdrew from the conflict, but yet another coalition emerged, this time including Prussia, Russia, Britain, Saxony, and Sweden in 1806. The formidable French army, known as the Grande Armée, was assembled through conscription, comprising hundreds of thousands of soldiers. The Industrial Revolution had enabled the mass production of weaponry for artillery, infantry, and cavalry. Napoleon defeated Prussia and advanced towards the Russian border, creating additional puppet states and the Duchy of Warsaw. In 1806, Napoleon implemented